Good evening, class. Today we're going to talk about lesson 2.3, and today's lesson is called Good Point. Before we get started, let me tell you the things that we're going to cover. First of all, we're going to start talking about opinions. Then we're going to talk about intonations when you're talking about agreeing, when you're partly agreeing. And you will finish with opinion adjectives. So, let's get started. Number 1 says, work in pairs. Match the newspaper extracts 1, 2, and 3 with pictures A, B, and C. Then discuss the questions. So let me make this smaller for you. Okay, perfect. So this lesson is only 2 pages long, and I'm actually showing you both pages right now. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom it and make it more specific. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and explain that the little, I guess we can call them paragraph that you guys see right here. It has the number 1, 2, and 3. These are the newspaper extracts, which are like small paragraphs about different types of news. You're going to match them with the pictures that you guys have right here on the top, with picture A, B, and C. Okay, so let me make this bigger for you guys. Here you go. So there you have them, the little paragraph. And to finish this, it says, then discuss the questions. So let's take a quick view on the questions. Number 1 says, which extracts are for and which are against the topics? Which are for and against. So just in case you don't know the expressions, are for means it's positive, so basically they are supporting or it's on their side. So just think about how it's positive, okay? And against means it's negative. It's something that you totally don't believe in. Which one are for and which are against the topics? Number 2, can you think of any other reasons for and against each idea? And number 3, the last question says, what is your opinion about each idea? Now, guys, don't forget that this is just a preview of what you guys are going to get to see once you're in my class. So I expect you guys to have this done or have like a general idea of what we're going to get to talk about tomorrow in tomorrow's class. Now let's take a look at number 2. Number 2 says opinions. Listen to 3 conversations. Which person agrees with the statements above, the man or the woman? Now, in order to do number 2, you have to have done number 1. See how it's all linked together? Now, let's see if I can play this for you. If we can't, then we'll just skip it and we'll continue, and we'll do it in class. Okay, let me try it one more time. Alright, I guess we can't. So we'll do it in class, no problem. Now let me go ahead and do letter B. Letter B says, listen again and make notes. Write 1 reason for each person for their opinion. So tell us why. Why do they think they are for or they are against? Like, what's the reason? Letter C, work in pairs and compare your notes. Which reasons are the best? So once you have shared with the class, we're going to see how many of you actually believe in the same things. How many of you are actually on the right side? Letter D, work in pairs and complete the phrases. Now, the phrases are the ones that are right here in this little box, in this chart. So, whenever you're given opinions, how would you say it? I'm really it. I am in of. So if you're given an opinion, what words do you think best fit in these places? When you're agreeing, what would you say? When you're partially agreeing, and when you're disagreeing. Now take a look at E. It says check your answers in the audio script on page 165. So once you have done this on your own, you can go back to page 165 to make sure that you guys have the right answers. Now let's go to the top. Number 3. Number 3A says, add the phrases in the box to the correct group in exercise 2D. Dun-dun-dun. So number 3A is actually linked to the last one right here. Once you have done that, we can take a look at B. B says intonation for partly agreeing. Listen to the phrases for partly agreeing and copy the intonation. Remember that the intonation is something super important because it helps you get across the idea that you want to portray to the other person. How is the other person going to know if you are agreeing or if you're disagreeing, if you are okay with that idea or if you're against it? So the intonation plays a key role of how you communicate and how other people get to understand what you're saying. Okay, so don't forget about that. Now let's take a look at number 4. Number 4 says, work in pairs and practice the conversations using the prompts. Conversation 1. I favor banning smoking all public places. Of course, what you need to do here first is complete the sentences to make this as a complete sentence, and then practice the conversation. We're going to go ahead and spend a little bit more time on this in class tomorrow. Take a look at B. Which person do you agree with in each conversation? Close your book and discuss the 2 topics with your partner. So once we have done that, we're going to go ahead and start a little debate in class to see if you guys agree or if you disagree with the idea that this conversation is showing you. Let's take a look at number 5. Let me move this. Now this would be your second page in your textbook. And right here. Okay. It says support your viewpoint. Number 5. Look at the phrases in bold in number 1 through 6 below. So we're talking about the ones right here. Which phrases are used? A, to give examples, or B, for facts which you have read, heard, or believe to be true. The words in bold are number 1, according to, number 2, apparently, number 3, as far as I know, number 4, for instance, number 5, like, and the last one, such as. Now, of course, right next to the bold words, you have an example that will help you try to understand and help you figure out under which 2 do they go under. Do they go under you use them when you want to give examples of something? Or are there facts? Let's take a look at number 6. It says cover exercise 5, which is the one we just talked about, and put the underlined phrases in the correct order. Alright, so go ahead and do that. Let's take a look at number 7. It says opinion and adjective. Read sentence number 1 through 6 and match the adjectives in bold with items A through F, which are similar in meaning. So you're matching sentences number 1 through 6 with their meanings A through F. So you have disturbing, unethical, reasonable, irresponsible, outrageous, illegal. So let's try to do the first one, letter A, having good reasons. So the meaning is having good reasons. So do you think illegal means having good reasons? No, it's not our best choice. So let's go ahead and take a look at some other bold words to see which one fits better. Having good reason would be reasonable because you have good reasons. Okay? Now, Let's take a look at B. It says work in pairs. Student A rephrases a sentence in exercise 7A, beginning it's terrible, bad, or okay. Then student B, close your book and reply with your adjectives. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload to our Moodle platform more examples of adjectives that you guys can use. So don't forget to go and check out our Moodle platform for all the extra resources that will help you better understand today's lesson. So that's it, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.